We are back. Welcome back from spring break, Sarah. Everyone, you are listening to the Rival and Queen podcast. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Sarah. And I'm actually technically still on spring break in Costa Rica.
The magic of the universe.
The magic of recording a podcast intro before vacation.
You know what that's called? Being prepared.
Exactly. I wanted to know that the R&Q community was taken care of while I was down the beach. I didn't want to be like leaving you guys hanging.
We didn't think that 3 weeks was appropriate. We only thought 2 weeks was appropriate. So we are putting our magic skills together.
And I'm trying to bring like the post spring break vibes. Like, when you get back from vacation, you're like, I'm a goddess. Life is beautiful. Everything is great. I'm bringing those vibes today.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I am still technically away as well. We are out of the province.
You're in spring break right now, sort of. Like you're on a work remote, so it's a little different, but like you're getting some tanning.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd like to be outside more than I am, but it's still nice in the morning to go for a quick spin or walk and just like, take in the fresh air and the sun.
Have you had any beach days?
Just one.
Which just don't even
sad.
I don't even know how. Okay, so today I'm like at the time that we're recording this is kind of good. It's like a nice update for everyone, even if it's like a little late. I'm in a course in Toronto about venture capital, and they talked about how apparently Apple had like a tablet before the iPad, and it was called the Newton, I think. I don't know this or remember it. And how they advertise it was like someone sitting on the beach with their feet in the sand and the tablet in front of them. And I guess whenever era this was, apparently there was so much backlash of like, why would you want to be at the beach doing your work? And then like flash forward to today, this is so like the desired, like that marketing would have been bang on today. Like it is our desired lifestyle. That is the lifestyle I want for you in this moment.
Well, and it's really something like you and I talk about in designing our lives around how we work and vice versa. It's like I sat by the pool today. It was quite overcast, mid to late afternoon. I had my laptop. I had to do a few things that were like a bit time consuming for work that I wanted to get out of the way. I sat by the pool in my bathing suit on a lounger and I like got my things done. So I'm not mad about it. I'm for the original Apple concept.
I know. I'm thinking of you right now. I'm like, I want Ashley living that life, her feet in the sand. I also have been like, I'm really pushing the boundaries on like my lifestyle and work appropriate meetings. So like with the VC fund that I work with, Plurus, I'm not gonna do this. I wear t-shirts to meetings, that's fine. But like on some of our Rival and Queen stuff, I'm like, I'll take calls. I'll take video calls in my bathing suit. I don't care. Like, I'm ready to push those boundaries, especially on our personal stuff and some of the stuff we do on our own. I'm like, you know what? Today I'm wearing a bathing suit, or today I'm wearing a tank top, and I will have a meeting about this. And I think that's fun.
That's such a good point, because you and I did a talk for a company out of Ontario a few weeks ago now. And that's something we talked about in being a woman in any form of work. And you kind of try and like make yourself look a certain way, whatever that is, or step into some type of like vision of what a person in an office looks like. I don't know. It's so weird because you and I are not wearing blazers and blouses and like dress pants ever.
I had so much trouble packing for, not trouble, but it like took so much brain power for me to pack for my Toronto trip, because I was like, I have to wear somewhat presentable clothes all day. And I feel like if we're being honest, and we are, what I normally wear every day is like mini skirts or t-shirts or like, I mean, that's pretty much, or tight
yoga
tops.
Pants the odd time, probably.
Yeah, the odd time, which I'm like not, but yeah, I'm not wearing those to a classroom. And like the reality is that like I probably shouldn't be wearing mini skirts too. I don't know, but it's like it's the first time I've had to think about my actual appearance and like is this acceptable? And it is something that like annoys me, because mostly I just want to dress in whatever I'm dressing in. And
can you wear jeans?
Oh no, I can wear jeans. I can wear whatever I wanted. Like I'm wearing leather leggings today. Like it's totally fine. But I'm just a little more conscious of like, well, maybe I shouldn't wear my plaid mini skirt that's, like maybe this isn't professional. And like, I think it's such a, when I'm doing the VC stuff, I sort of like to bring a level of classic professional, because it's not mine. But like any stuff that I'm doing for my own, I want the brand to be my personality. I want, like with Rival and Queen, it to be okay for us to show up in our bathing suit for our work call, because this is our lives. And like, that's how we're working that day. And I think it's okay for us to be normal. And it's a nice, like, changes the narrative.
So when I was downtown Vero Beach on the island, literally like in the downtown street closest to the beach, because it's a very, I forget what Jeff said, but Vero Beach is like one of the most classic like beach town communities or cities, whatever it's defined as, like left in Florida, because you're not allowed to build sky rises. It's very like everything's low and that like preserved community, like that style. I got a video yesterday of a couple walking downtown in their bathing suits. The guy had no shirt on and the girl had her bathing suit on. She was carrying her clothes. And I took a video to send to you because I was like, that is Sarah's dream.
It's me. Like that is me, is to not have to put clothes on and wear my bathing suit from the beach into the shop. I love it. I think it's great. That's what I will be doing as this episode is out. I'll be posting. This will be part of the promo for the episode. Me walking around Tamarindo in a bikini. Love it.
Amazing.
I have to tell you, while in Toronto, I did the edited, like an unabridged, unofficial cookie edition. I spent $60 on cookies today.
Oh my God, Sarah.
And like, I didn't even get to all the places, but I was with my cousin, and then like some places wanted you to try like 5 cookies. So anyways, and I did spend at said Forno $25 on cookies, because that is my favorite cookie place in Toronto. Unofficially, I haven't compared it, but like, that's what I would recommend number 1 to anyone who asks me.
Good to know. Good to know.
So I hope you all caught that on Instagram, but if you need any Toronto cookie tips, we got you.
We got you. And do you know what else we have, Sarah?
We have some very cool guests on today.
I was going to say, we have some very young and fresh dating stories and dating tips.
I love the dating tips. I had this so much fun with the girls from the Weekend Roundup who were on this episode.
We had Lauryn and Madi, who also record and are part of BNV Media at the studio. And that was just a fun afternoon. We recorded for a long time. We had so many stories, and they are just hilarious and really put themselves out there. They're not holding back. They're sharing all the details. I mean, the name speaks for itself. They record after their kind of weekend adventures and endeavors and share with all of you.
And what was the best about this was like right after my first weekend out, like my first kind of post-COVID vibe weekend out, where I basically, I mean, you guys can imagine, like, how much I love socializing and being around humans. So this was my first weekend in a bar at an event. I was basically vibrating like while I was there. And so while we recorded this episode the next day, it was like my first hangover in months. I was dying, but I also loved it because I was living the Weekend Roundup vibe.
I think I called you at like 3 p.m. about recording within hours from then. And you were like, I'm dead. I'm dead.
I was still in bed. I slept till 30 minutes before we had to do the thing. But what I loved about it is it was almost like it brought me back to those classic university days where like, you went out hard, and then like Sunday you sat around and you recapped the weekend, and that's what we went and did. And I loved it. And it just brought me back to the nostalgia. I'll also say, talking to the girls, it brought me like really nice reflection on my own dating life, just to hear like where they are now. Cause it's like, I've been there, and now I'm like 10 years older than them. I think 10 years later, how my dating life is different. And then also like what I'm looking for and why that's different. It was like, I found it. I mean, this is like totally unique to me and maybe some single women out there. Like, it was a really nice reflection on my own dating experiences and like how I want to approach dating going forward.
Yeah. And I just appreciate their open-heartedness and their honesty. And there's still so many double standards. I know we talked about this with Meredith a few weeks ago or a month ago now, goodness. But you know, like they are getting called out or written on Instagram about sharing some of their dating stories or adventures, and just, you know, kind of getting like slut shamed in a sense too, which is absolutely ridiculous.
I agree. And like there's definitely a double standard, but there's also like, I give them a lot of credit. And we talk about this in the episode too. It's like weird stuff happens sometimes when you're dating. And it's like, you can either take it personally, be upset, or you can make light of the situation and share it as like lessons learned. Do you know what I mean? And it's like a big part about that is like mindset. Like, sure, you can let someone slut shame you, but well, not let them, but like, why is that the angle that we're taking? We're all humans, we're all dating. And like, I think it's great that they like, this is what we need, is more people talking honestly about their dating and sex lives. Like, this helps change that narrative.
Absolutely. And yeah, you'll have to stay tuned until the end of the episode, because Maddie and Lauren each share their own dating stories, which are absolutely hilarious. And we loved it.
We might have to go into the vault and share some of my good ones.
Well, and I think I was just going to say that because you alluded to that in the episode. And I think that they may pull you into an episode, Sarah, to bring out that diary you have of all your dating adventures.
I've got a real good one about baby oil. And that like did not happen, but this was the conversation. Yeah, I've got some goodies. And I remember the one that you referenced in the episode about someone pulling their dick out when I was at their place, and it did happen. I remember the story fully. And the baby oil story is part of that one.
Yeah, I think that needs to be shared with the community.
All right, have a listen to the Weekend Roundup. You can find them on Instagram at the Weekend Roundup. We'll share a link to their podcast as well. And Ash, it's that time.
Enjoy this one. Grab a drink, grab some popcorn, crack a luvo, whatever you've got. It's very entertaining. Oh, this is a fun Sunday afternoon.
We're in full. I don't know what we're in. We're raring to go. It was a big night out.
There's a hurting today.
You know what? But I was so excited yesterday, and it was worth it. I was like vibrating at the local for the afternoon, the Winter Warmers event I went to with a group of people, because it was just with a bunch of strangers, and I was so happy.
It's fun to be around strangers.
So fun. I didn't even think about the future,
anything ahead of time,
or water. Didn't think about water.
Just living in the moment.
And I'm okay with it, because I haven't been able to go do that in so long that it just feels like, okay, I'm back to like base level. All my energy got
Single
out.
Sarah is out full force.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some fun ladies here.
We
might
do.
recognize their voices from the Weekend Roundup. We've got Lauryn and Madi.
Hi. Thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah,
we're so excited.
That's awesome. Do you guys just want to say, like, tell us your names so people can match your voices? 'Cause that's
Sure.
my
Good
favorite.
thought.
Some people do confuse our voices on our own podcast and say that they can't differentiate. But I'm Lauren.
And I'm Madi.
Perfect.
And we're from the Weekend Roundup.
Yay. Good timing.
Tell us-
round up the weekend.
Right?
Shenanigans.
I'm
Sunday
actually so
afternoon.
happy you're in the state that you're in. It
I
really
know,
feels
it's perfect.
comforting. Feels like the same environment.
Yeah.
Does it make
How
you
do you
feel
guys
good
feel?
at 33? That's just what you have to look forward to.
You're
You
not
feel at home.
33.
How old am I?
34. Are you 34?
No.
Oh, I'm 34.
Wow.
Wow.
I said,
Mark's
what are you
33.
talking about? I am 33.
Yeah, happy
Oh.
birthday, Mark. Shout out producer Mark.
Yeah.
Who's really
Love you,
struggling.
Mark
Poor
is
guy.
usually sitting to my right, but he is not today. He's here. He's just not here.
He's just not here.
Physically, he's here.
He's here in spirit. But
Yeah.
we're so excited to have you both on. This is such a fun little collab we get to do.
I know.
You guys are so funny. I was looking at your stories today, and I actually had seen Kanye West's stories and rant. He's on, Sarah and I talked about this a few weeks ago, but he is on another level of ranting today,
Yep.
putting Kim
Yeah.
on blast.
The
And
prayer. This
it's
morning's
been
prayer.
dirty.
Mhm.
I don't know what the prayer was, but I just did see on Instagram the text thread between him and Pete. Is that
Yeah.
a thing?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in bed with your wife.
Yeah.
I mean, period. You know. Someone
I
had to
thought
say
that was
it.
good.
That's kind of
I liked
fun.
it. I liked
Yeah.
it.
As
I
he
liked
should
it.
be.
The Scorpio jumped out, as they say.
I don't know anything about it other than it sounds like it's getting even more heated.
I just think it's funny that they they use their social media platform so strategically, and
Oh,
now it's
yeah.
just like, I'm going to show you. No, I'm going to show you, and they're just trying to light each other up and point fingers. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's funny.
It's like, I don't know. I would not wanna
Imagine
be in
your
that.
dating shenanigans, and now you've got like 230
Man,
million
I get
people.
so stressed about stuff like that. No, I would be very stressed.
I'd throw my phone.
If
probably.
Kanye West was mad at me, I would be
Oh
very
my
stressed.
God.
Because
Literally.
if someone was writing me angry messages daily, I would be very distressed.
I'd be terrified, especially if it was Kanye. Like, one of the
Yes.
most famous people in the world. It's like, oh, you hate me. Okay, cool.
I know.
But
What's Kim
I-
thinking?
But
Yeah, no,
also,
seriously.
I would not be that bothered if someone wrote me like, I hate you. I'd be like, okay, well, this is unfortunate, but
Yeah.
we are where we are. I'd be very upset if they were sending me paragraphs of
Yeah.
messages
Like
about
every
it.
day.
Yeah.
Literally every day.
Yeah. That's where I would be like, what does Kim think?
Well, she's in the middle. You know?
Yeah, I feel bad for Kim.
I
and the
don't.
whole
I honestly don't
situation.
even know if she can say anything right now because of the kids. Because it's like they need to have some stability, and I feel like if Kim doesn't say anything,
Yeah.
then they have that. Do you know what I mean? But the poor thing, like,
Here's my question. Do we think that Kim and Pete will get through this together, or do we think that that Pete will actually be like, you know what, this is just not worth it?
I
I
think,
think that's what Kanye wants, right?
Yeah.
That wedge between
Put a
her,
drive
her and
between them.
anyone.
yeah, I think honestly, Pete is kind of a sucker for this drama. Like, I think that
Fair.
it's gonna make him like love Kim more. Like I think he's gonna
Protect
love the
her.
trauma bond.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that kind of happened with like Ariana too when Mac Miller died and they were still engaged and he had to like helped her through it. Like
Yeah.
I think it's gonna make them closer, in my opinion. Maybe that's stupid. Like
No.
maybe they're gonna break up next week. But
I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were a PR relationship, like for the longest time, and then I was like, okay, it's getting to a point where I'm like, I don't know anymore.
they're gonna apparently talk about the whole thing on the Kardashians on Hulu, like how they started talking.
Maybe it is
You
A.
can come over and we'll watch it together
I can't
for the
wait.
first time ever.
I can't wait. Sometimes I like the Kardashians. Sometimes for like a day.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
know,
feel
that's
like
what-
I'm more like that. Like I'm not a
like you
huge
dip
fan.
your toe.
Yeah, just kind of like, oh, what's going on? I want
Yeah.
a little drama.
Okay, so speaking of social media and sharing things on your platforms, you guys share a lot of stuff on the Weekend Roundup.
Yeah,
We do.
we do.
A lot.
Every dirty
Every
little
Sunday.
detail.
Yeah.
We let it all out there. Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Like, do you kind of resent? Are you like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. Someone's gonna hear this. What's gonna happen? Or you just don't care?
It's a really good
It's
question.
a great question.
Honestly, I feel like at the beginning I was more freaked out about it because I feel like as we kind of did it, we only got good responses, which was kind of weird. Like from the people we were talking about, like they would be like, hey, heard your podcast, that was funny.
At the start.
At the start. And then it got a little
That's in like a more male tone voice. Is it men?
Men,
Guys?
guys.
it is not. It's
Like
always
dating.
At the start,
Stories.
like when we first started off, it was all positive reviews, like from
Oh.
guys that we had talked about, girls we had talked to, friends we had talked about, whatever. Like there was nothing wrong. And then probably like 6 months into it, things kind of turned.
because I feel like it was like more people were listening, so
Yeah.
people were kind of like, oh, I don't want people to know things about
Don't
me.
As
go on
a-
a date with her.
Yeah, like
We're in our Taylor Swift era. Nobody
Yeah,
will date us.
100%.
But it's yeah, like it kind of took a turn when we started growing and there was more eyes on us, and then it kind of got a little bit more, why are you talking about me, that kind of thing, and then it did switch and got a little
Feisty.
aggressive.
A little feisty.
There was some feistiness. What happened?
Honestly, I think like
Mads has had way worse luck than me.
yeah, I
with talking about
have. It's
people.
not fair.
So I'm gonna pass the mic over.
I feel like people mostly like slut shame us now.
Yeah,
honestly.
massively.
Yeah, and it's pretty bad. Like people will slide in our DMs and be like, "Oh, like you're definitely ran through," or like, you know, just like
What?
really crazy
Guys or
things.
girls or both?
Guys, usually guys. Girls are
Guys.
really supportive.
This is very on topic for what we
I
just
know we
talked
just
about.
had an episode with. Do you guys know Meredith Ralston? She teaches at
From
the
the
Mount.
Mount, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just had her on talking about slut shaming and the pleasure death, and the unfinished sexual revolution.
It's like guys can be
How-
so, you know, whatever and open,
Yeah.
and then and they're the ones in our experience at any time, like they try and like, you know, call you,
Mhm.
I don't know, try and make you feel bad, but
yeah, and it's like, okay, but you do it too. Like that's the
Exactly.
thing. Like it's very hypocritical most
Mm.
times.
Yeah, the slut shaming is starting to get a little bit more ramped up than it used to be, for sure. Like I got anxious when you had said it.
Yeah.
And that never really happened before. And I just think it's because, one, we have more eyes on us, and two, we're going out more and people are a little bit more brave to say things to our face now that they kind of are almost disconnected from the fact that we're also like real people. We're not just voices behind like a podcast. So yeah, the slut shaming is getting kind of brutal, but at the end of the day, I really don't think we share anything that's too like out there, you know, like it's not call her daddy. I'm not, you know, giving you tips on how to give a great blowjob. Like, I think I'm just talking about like my own personal dating life.
Well, things that have happened.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, you can't really say anything if it's the truth. And like, we always try to keep it like as accurate as possible and like show receipts if we can and make sure it's like honest, because then you can't really say anything.
So here's a question I have. Like, what are the rules that you two laid out between yourselves for this podcast?
We really did it.
I think we definitely did a little bit. Like,
I think it was like unwritten.
Yeah, Maddie and I are kind of, we don't really need to talk to each other, I think, about certain things because we're very on the same page. We're the same rising, you know,
rising
so
sign,
that means we're on the same page. But one of our big rules was that we wouldn't talk about anyone who like we really did care about, because you know you just have to keep it, you have to keep a part of your life private. The other one I think was that like just be as honest as possible. Like, even if you are not the person who's in the wrong, like, or in the right story, like we've told almost all of our stories are us being in the wrong and like what not to do and how this is not something that you should be doing and how we've grown from it and whatever. So I think that is like the biggest rules.
And do you guys know real names? Do you guys use real names?
Yeah, no names.
No.
Oh, that's good.
There's a lot of Trevors in the episode I just listened to.
Trevor.
I think that's like, these people may look back on some of these stories in a few months or years from now and find them flattering that they got to.
They got on the podcast.
I actually have a log of
some good stories.
Of many, because I don't like to forget them, because there's some that are really, really funny, and then you, as time passes, you forget some of the insane things you've done.
100%.
And especially in university, I started writing them all down, and I have a log of like, and they're like fun, only the funny stories.
Can we get drunk and read these one night?
Yeah, like
I've
been writing it for years, and because
I could just hear you laughing, you wouldn't be able to. And
Amy,
get it out.
I wouldn't be able to get it out because BK and Amy are like, we want this in a book.
You never know.
It's like, honestly, let's hear it. I'm ready.
I'm actually gonna try to pull some of them up because I think they're really funny.
Yeah, no, you should. Like, that's kind of why we started the podcast too. Like, we wanted to kind of document our senior year. Like, it was never really meant for anyone else, and then it kind of just grew. So then we kind of adjusted. But yeah, that's like why it's the same thing.
Well, and it's so good because I think when you said that, people can listen, and any girls, guys, whatever, and think like, oh, I was in that situation. Oh,
exactly. Yeah.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah. Exactly.
And we all do. Oh,
sorry. No, I was just gonna say, when you have, I'm just dying. When you have the negativity or that slut shaming, people trying to like, you know, make you feel a certain way, even though they're assholes by the sound of it. How do you handle that? Or when you guys do just not pay attention or set them straight?
Lean on Maddie. Like,
I think gonna say,
like we'll
make a few jokes,
have each other, like, because there's nobody else who's really gonna get it, I don't think, and how much even just the littlest, you know, comment or action about it is gonna actually kind of hurt. So the only person that I would feel like really gets it and that I need to like talk to about it is Maddie, and I always feel better when I talk to Maddie, because at the end of the day, like, she gets it, and I think Maddie has a clear view of like the long run of the podcast, whereas I get really overwhelmed with like one comment.
So I would say same. And also I feel like I would say I'm really bad at handling it. Like, I feel like you'd be like, oh, there's a nasty comment or there's like a bad comment, and then I have to go look at it immediately no matter what I'm doing, which is not good. So I definitely have to do better. I think I need to like just not. Yeah, exactly.
You
like,
really do.
Like, it's because it's always like I have to do it instantly, and then I read it and then I'm just like pissed off or like sad. So I definitely need to be better at that. So
the thing is too is that we're really new. Like, we're less than a year old, so we don't really even know what we're doing too.
Yeah,
which is a very important disclaimer for all the listeners.
Yeah,
we don't know what we're doing.
I think but I think this is, I didn't even think that of this perspective that you guys would be getting so much hate.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a form of notoriety, which, you know, it can be good if you're getting attention. but it is like painful because we don't get stuff like that really.
Not yet.
No.
We haven't pissed anyone off enough.
But like we're
It's
also
lucky.
no, but it's just the content that we share, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is you're sharing content that people have very many opinions about. And
Yes.
Exactly. And also I feel like it's such a personal part of our life, like personal and intimate part of our life, but that's all people hear. So it's like nobody hears about how we, go to school, we work, we're like running it like a business.
Mhm.
Like there's so many other things about us that I feel like people just don't hear. So they kind of craft a picture of us in their head if they haven't met us before.
That's very true.
Which
yeah.
is easy to do.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
an easy thing for people to do.
And that's the thing, like I don't even blame people for that because I do that too. But it's like I get in my head about it. I feel like I'm like, oh, people are perceiving me in a certain way. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like I know what I'm like and I know who I am, so it works.
Oh, that is hard though when that's like the thing at the forefront though is like your sexual life
Yeah.
or your like dating life. And
Yeah.
I think it was definitely a little bit naive for us going into the podcast thinking that this wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Being women who share so much of our sexual lives online, like I think it is inevitable because of where we are in society and accepting like women's being public about their sex lives. So it was definitely shocking, like when it first started, because yeah, we never really thought that would happen. But it's the situation we're in now, so we're just adjusting to it as we go.
Yeah.
I still find that funny though, because I find a lot of these stories also hilarious and
Thank
like
you.
this is well like a lot of your stories, but also like any of my own escapades. Like I find them
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing. I feel like people take things so seriously. It's like it's a joke. Like it's just it's fun. Like
It's
it
a
happened to
funny
me.
part
Yeah,
of
This
life.
happened to me.
Yeah, it's
Someone
like-
peed on my leg.
Somebody did pee on my
Yeah,
leg.
exactly. It's like that happened, so it's might as well make a joke of it. Like otherwise, someone
Yeah.
just pissed on your leg, and it kind of sucks.
That's
No,
very
quite
true.
clever.
Yeah.
Agreed. I feel that way. And I think it's I think it also
You have
like,
some really funny stories.
No,
and you
I
have
know.
told some of them.
have I? Oh my god, I have some really
I know,
funny
like
ones.
actually.
I have to
I'm
go back into
A lot
the
of dick
logs and write
whipping
them. And, where?
Wasn't that in a cab or something?
Somebody whipped out their dick
Didn't
in a
someone
cab.
Maybe should I not say this?
You
Oh no,
True.
you can just say it. I'm curious. I'm trying to
Rewind,
remember.
bleep it out.
No, what? Where?
I thought someone just like kept showing you his penis.
And you were just like, nice.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. I'm such an approachable person. I think sometimes that, like,
Hey Sarah, take a look.
well, actually, I just have I have a sense of humor about these things. So it's like if that
Yeah.
happened, I would just like laugh
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and then
You'd probably say, no, like just no, this isn't gonna happen. Put it
No,
away.
I feel like that's how I get myself into most of the situations I talk about too. Like it's always I'm like too nice about it or like laughing.
You think it's a joke?
I always think it's a joke, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
And they're just like testing you, like, is she
Yeah.
gonna bite? Is
Yeah.
she not?
yeah, and it is. I just think it's a better way to approach your sex life and your dating life. Like it makes it way
Yeah.
more. It just lets you take things with a grain of salt and not so seriously. It kind
Yeah,
of like
exactly.
lightens the ups and downs of dating.
There's
Exactly.
nothing more fun than getting home from a horrible date and telling your friend. Like it makes
Having
it worth
an
it.
amazing
Exactly.
story.
Well, and your podcast is always recorded on a Sunday, so that's kind
Yeah,
of fun.
that's like
You're
what
just
it's
like,
based on. Yeah.
oh, let's talk. What happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what did happen?
Oh, so are you both single?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, like, Sarah's single. Shout out to Sarah's single vibes.
They're
out
coursing strong. Oh yeah, I've had a lot of adventures lately.
Yeah, I know. But like, what's it like being single? You guys keep mentioning the dome. I mean, we haven't been in the dome in a long time. Like,
Oh my-
what? Tell us what's happening.
The
Like,
dome.
especially with COVID.
Yeah.
Like, is it I don't know,
Weird.
Weird.
It's
yeah.
definitely weird. Like I feel like it's just so hard to meet people organically now. Like everything seems so set up because I feel like you're kind of limited, or at least in the past 2 years. I feel like more recently it's been a little better, but you've been really limited to like online dating or
I can't imagine at university, because are you guys out of university now?
No.
No,
No,
yeah,
okay,
we're
you're
still
still-
in
I
university.
can't imagine not being on campus and not running into people every day. I just
Go
like
to
can't
parties and,
imagine
like,
the university experience without that. Like
Yeah.
It's been actually kind of sad, and I don't think that we recognize it because if we talk about it, then we will get sad. But
yeah, so we
yeah,
just don't.
it has been sad and isolating. Luckily enough, we got to experience like a year and a half of university before we had to leave, almost 2 years. But getting back on campus has been good, but campus is kind of dead because not a lot of people, like, the numbers are dropping at school because people don't want to attend school during COVID. So school's been interesting, but dating during COVID has been a very interesting experience. Maddie had a boyfriend for a little while, but now we're both back on the single train. Yeah. And
I want to talk about this for a second because I do think it's now I'm like thinking of this from your perspective, and I'm thinking about university where like very much the weekend roundup. It was like Friday night, Saturday night, we were at the pub. Then it would be like Sunday. Yeah, but St. X was like literally a microcosm.
I'm from Antigonish. So
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, we love the Nish.
And then Sunday morning, it was like team breakfast.
What happened?
Or like maybe you had a breakfast guest joining you. Like we used to always invite our closest friend, our nearest and dearest pals to stay for breakfast.
Yes, recent friends.
Or like recurring guests. We had some in university that like for 4 years were just recurring roles in our
They
lives.
felt at home.
It's a great thing for us to incorporate to the show, recurring roles.
Yeah,
I think you should.
We have a few. Yeah.
That part's
They always
great.
show up. But it is hard even thinking of, I think of the kids, whatever, that graduated from high school and had that weird grade 12 experience, like no prom, no part, you know what I mean? That vibe. And then transitioning into university with that same like structure. I'm like, what the hell? Those were the best years.
Yeah.
Well, and I think when it comes to dating, like your sea of dating is just so wide open. Like you guys are now just dating anyone in the city, not just like in your community, in your campus. Like it's a weird.
Maybe they are just in their community dating.
Not at the Mound.
I'm joking.
I mean, is it the Mound is like a 3-to-1 ratio of women to men, isn't that?
Yeah.
I think there's like 2 guys in our whole year in our program. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I think
What
so.
did you take?
Ryan and Jacob, shout out.
Public relations.
Okay.
Yes.
But that's still very like a diverse program. But yeah, it just shows how
I think more women are in PR.
Yeah, there's a lot more women.
interesting. Okay. So you're out there now, we're opening back up. Like what are the vibes like? Are you still going to the Dome?
I went to the Dome 2 months ago, and I've never experienced a drunk like that in my life. It was honestly like a different environment. Like, I don't know, it was a magical night for me, and I think that that's all I need for a little while. And I will revisit as necessary. That's my public statement to the Dome.
The Dome is the recurring. Hell no. We're not
yes,
going to the
you
Dome.
should come.
That would be really funny.
They're like younger guys too.
No, that is not the thing. Younger guys like me. It's not
Like, it's not my fault I'm gorgeous.
That's also not what I said. I find it unsettling to a degree that there's a number of 25-year-olds.
Can we just tell the story when we went to Annie?
Oh yeah, sure.
Lauren would be very familiar with the pub, or anyone that's
She probably even knows this person, but we'll tell you.
Oh yeah, anyone that's been to Annie. So this summer in August, there were 12 of us girls that rented a house. You've probably heard of this house. It has a pool and all that. And we went for dinner, and then we went to the pub because we
paid a rent. You know, we found out you could just pay the bouncers $10.
Oh, you didn't know that?
Person. And well, we didn't have to do that in university.
Yeah,
we
but
had
we didn't.
friends.
Let's just say
doing that since high school, girl.
Really? Well, like I dated someone that played hockey for St. X, and that was just like easy to just like throw you over the fence. Or like, you go. Like
we
had
were
the
friends
end.
with the managers, so we didn't have to wait. But
we used to. But so the lineup was huge after dinner. Like half of us kind of wanted to go because we're like, we're in Antigonish, and we went to St. X. It would be
got hit at Piper's.
Of
course,
luck.
yeah.
Huge line, and I forget who I went to the front of the line with.
Alex.
No, she came blowing in and like blew the cover.
Maybe Katie.
It was Katie.
Yeah.
Who's a lawyer, very persuasive. So we went up and we're like, we don't really want to wait in this line. Like, can we? And he was like willing to get us in, and he's kind of like, oh. Then Alex came up, our friend, she's Australian. She's like, how much does it cost to get in here? And he's like, $100. And Alex like went and got money. I was like, we didn't need to pay.
Yeah.
She like blew it.
But you know what? It's funny. We're all like, well, we have jobs. It's $10.
Yeah, that's what she said. She's like, I have a job. Like, I'll pay to get in here. I'm like, oh my God. So we go in. There was no COVID at that time in English. It was like a free for all, masks off.
It was definitely a mask optional situation.
They're like, if you're
I loved it.
sitting down, you can take your mask off. Anyways, we were happy. We got a booth. And these like 2 young guys like slide into our booth immediately and like, what's your name? Who are you? Blah, blah. So chit chatting.
Absolutely dying to know who this is.
Oh,
one of them you would know.
I took a selfie with him. And they were all just going on. I'm like, I can be your mother, basically. Like,
No, we were 11 years older than them. Yeah.
well, okay, teen pregnancy. And
Hey, wait, 11 years though. So they're our age.
They're
Are they?
22. They were
20
22. We're
Yeah.
When was this?
this summer.
this past summer.
There's no way you don't know them.
I know.
That's so fun.
We'll show you. I'll show you the photo evidence. And then all of a sudden, Sarah's chatting up with this one guy, and then they're on the dance floor, and he wanted to make out with you.
He
He's like,
did
"Can we
ask,
make
he
out?"
asked me to make out. And I
Hey,
said,
can we make that?
and I said no. And then he was like, I really like you. I was like, I think you.
And you're like,
good
the
for
lights
you."
are off.
Yeah.
No.
I stopped making out at the Dome at 18 or
Yeah.
at the pub at 18. So I don't know.
I definitely can't say
We didn't
that,
know anyone there.
but like I thought I was not an activity I was going to bring into my 30s at the pub.
Definitely
Yeah.
fair.
And this one guy told us that he slept with 77. He was maybe like, I think he was last year or something, like
Yeah.
probably your guys' age.
Yeah.
And he had slept with 75 or 77 women. And he's like, there's this girl I really like.
Not him
What
telling
do
you
you do?
guys.
And I'm like, don't tell her that's how many girls you slept
That
with.
was the information he started the conversation with. So I think he was just
I think I just narrowed it down in my head.
Oh,
We're like, oh,
wow.
we know
He
it.
had brown hair.
Okay, a little bit more. Was his last name McDonald?
Yeah, McLean McDonald. I don't know his name. I don't even know his first name. But anyways, we like to peer into our youth like that, just like for a second.
No, that was funny, but the 25-year-olds are still around, so that's great. Anyways, I avoid them, but they don't avoid
Okay,
me.
so I will be at the Dome with Maddie and Lauren.
I will not be at the Dome.
He could be our DD.
It's like a
Yeah.
passenger car that's attached to the Dome.
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Oh no,
we
that
can-
closed.
They closed it?
Because that's where I'm visualizing the old Cheers.
Yeah.
I think I've only been in the Dome maybe like twice.
That's
It's
impressive.
interesting. It's interesting in there.
Yeah.
I'll go with you two for
For
30
VCon.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
okay.
what are we doing? We're
Honestly,
concerts.
Seeing what the people are doing. now.
Observing.
You can come back and
One of the
report
social
on the
Like this-
podcast.
How do they make out when it's COVID?
What do you mean? How do they make
Like, do
out?
they get
They
separated
make
by
out.
the bouncers? Like, they're like, you can't. do that.
Honestly,
Actually, that's a really good question.
I feel like I haven't seen anyone make out at the domes.
My brother got kicked out of the Dome. I
For
think 3
making out?
times. I think so.
Wow. See, it's like footloose.
Oh, so now you're not allowed to make out in the Dome?
Well, he
Yeah.
kept because his mask was off,
Oh,
Yeah.
Right.
and he gets lippy. Oh, he's gonna kill me if he hears this, but yeah.
Do you both have a brother, or is it your brother you always talk about?
We both have brothers. But
Who
the-
is the truck?
My brother.
your brother?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Maddie's
Yeah,
brother,
he's my
okay.
older brother, and then Lauren has 2 younger brothers.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun. So do we have any new stories that we should be discussing? Do you guys need
What
any
happened this weekend?
advice or wisdom from your wise elders?
I'm married. I can give you guys all the.
She can give you the
Oh,
marriage tips.
No,
Here's the
I don't have
thing.
any.
Maddie and I were discussing relationships this morning, actually.
Yeah.
And the thing is for our podcast, like it's good for us to have romantic relationships and be going on dates and have those things. But we talked about it this morning, and honestly, I don't really have an interest in dating right now. And that's kind
Yeah,
of
same.
weird because of our podcast. And I think we are
Yeah.
going to talk about it on there, but I don't have a desire for it anymore because I just have really realized my worth and like the standard that I want. And I kind of looked at like what I was dating and how my dating life was going, and it was not matching
Mm-hmm.
the standard that I want to be at. So I think I have so much going on right now with the podcast and graduating school that if it happens, it happens. But I don't think I'm going to be looking for anything anytime soon.
So
which is kind of weird.
I think this is a fabulous realization, but what does this mean logistically? Does this mean the apps are off and deleted for now, or
My apps have been off and deleted. I haven't even used a dating app in like probably a year or 2.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
because I had a really bad experience, but that's in season 1.
Yeah,
Go
both
check
of
it
us
out.
have pretty bad online dating experiences.
Yeah, so I said,
And I don't know. I
Love
was seeing
that.
someone in the fall, the British guy I was just talking about, and we met on a dating app, and then we went on a couple dates and dated for like a little while. But like even then, I just was not interested. Like he was he had everything kind of going for him, but like I would just forget to text him back for 5 hours. Oh shit, I need to answer, and like
No.
right, it was
The
everything that
spark
it
wasn't
needed.
there.
It was everything that I wanted it to be, and he was everything that I wanted him to be. But I don't have an interest in it right now. I think I really want to focus on myself because I think there's a lot that can come out of the podcast, can come out of my school if I focus on myself. But it's interesting because we do have a dating podcast.
Yeah, I feel like I need to get my shit together a little bit. Like I'm a little messy right now, so I need to get my shit together, and then so I feel like dating is just kind of a distraction right now. But hopefully in the summer I'll be back.
Yeah, I think maybe
I
Hot
think in
Girl
the summer,
Summer.
like Hot Girl
The
Summer
summer
kind of the
lures you
vibe.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like,
Yeah.
oh well,
You can feel it building already.
It
Yeah,
is.
exactly. Like it's in the air.
It's only March. and
That's
it's
why I'm
building.
I mean, like, I was like vibrating literally
I've seen you vibrating.
like in public situations around humans yesterday. Like you
Yeah.
could even Kara sat down and was like, what is wrong
Just
with
so
you? I can
hyper.
You
feel
used to
your
want it
energy.
every time, like summers ago, before
Yeah.
we started the podcast, in the midst of the podcast
Yeah.
gelling together. Sarah wanted to like flip the table one day at work, and I was like, "What the fuck?" You're like, "We're flipping the tables." I'm like, "Okay."
The energy comes.
You have
and
to
It's a
get
good
that.
vibe.
that energy is like very active right now.
But you need to find a guy that makes you want to flip a table. You know?
Exactly.
It needs to make you want to
Yes.
throw that table. Mm-mm.
You have
I
to be
just-
flipping a table, not forgetting to text it back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I think I'm so focused on like my mental health right now and the podcast and finishing strong with school because oh my god, senioritis is like a real
Really
thing.
bad.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal right now, but I don't have any excess energy
Yeah.
to give to dating, and the last couple people that I've been with, I had to almost like put extra energy in it to make it worth it.
Mhm.
If that makes sense,
Yeah.
and to have that connection with them, and unless there's a natural connection there, I really genuinely don't have any time for anything.
Fair.
Yeah. No, same. But I also think it's weird that we have, since we have the podcast, there is like kind of a pressure to be constantly
Mhm.
like dating, and, like
Dating.
have
It's like
something
Carrie
going on.
Bradshaw.
Yeah, like
Carrie
it's like
Bradshaw,
we
she's
do
in a
compare our
way about
lives to that.
everything.
yeah. Like it's like I feel like I need content. Like I'm like, oh, well, what am I going to talk about next week? Like, oh, well, I guess I could bring out this old thing, but it's like you only have so many stories in the
Mhm.
archive. Like I
I
don't
can
know.
bring in some fresh meat.
Yeah, you can bring
Of
me in.
course.
I'll
She
start.
has, well,
We'll
we won't
take that
talk about
log.
yours.
I'll
Yeah.
start. I know. I gotta go back. Actually, I gotta update the log because
Yeah,
I'm
I
like
would
things are
love
coming to me
that.
as we're sitting here.
This would be great. I would definitely.
I like. I'm
listen.
gonna have to go back through a bunch of my dating history. I like
Sarah
doing
gets a
this
lot
every
of
now and again.
fans.
Fans?
You get people writing, like, you know, in a funny way. You get people writing you
Fan
through
behavior.
social or through Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Sometimes.
yeah.
That's fun though. I love like a little DM. Like doesn't mean
But
anything, but,
those-
it's like it's nice.
You
Yeah.
never know.
But
I like
that
to hear it.
content may keep coming
Keep
for
them
you.
coming.
Yeah.
I don't
true.
know. Yeah, I think I'm at the point where it's just like if something's gonna happen, it'll happen
Naturally
naturally.
and
Yeah.
organically.
It also
Yeah.
might just be dating app fatigue too.
Yeah.
Like that
I
is a real
totally
thing, you
get
know,
that.
Mhm.
because I was watching I am trying to watch a bunch of rom-coms this year because I didn't watch any growing
Oh,
up.
it
I
gets
haven't
really-
watched
What?
any
No,
of them.
literally, she's never seen like How to Lose a or you never
What?
saw How to Lose Guy.
I
10
watched
Days, and then we
it.
watched it. Yeah, we watched it
10
together.
things I hate about you.
10 Things I Hate About You is my fave.
So good.
She's all that.
You got
No.
mail.
No,
She's never
that's a
seen
good
any
one.
of it. I've seen all of them. I'm obsessed. I
Yeah,
love
so I'm trying to
rom-coms.
watch a bunch right now, and I watched this is not a good one, but we wanted to put on like a kind of like crappy movie. Oh, what is it? Anyways, I don't remember what it was. The girl from 50 Shades of Grey is in it. Dakota Johnson and someone else.
And it's
But
a rom-com?
yeah, kind of, but it's like a bad one.
Oh, How to Be Single.
How to Be Single.
Oh,
I watched
okay.
How to Be
That's
Single.
honestly not that bad. Like I like that movie.
Yeah,
It's
It's
also good when
funny.
you're in the airplane. You know
Yeah,
how you watch
exactly.
those movies when you're flying.
It's like a filler movie.
it was fun to watch
Mhm.
on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
But I watched that, and I was watching them like go out for someone's birthday, and they're at this like rooftop bar, and she ran into this guy, and they started talking, and I was actually getting jealous like watching it, and I was and same with Sex in the City, watching them run into people on the
Yeah.
streets or run into people at bars. I get jealous watching it because I feel like I haven't had that opportunity as like a COVID 20-year-old. Like
Yeah, it's just
because
never happened.
that doesn't happen. Like it's
You're like,
just dating apps and like
Yeah,
it's
what do you want?
masks and it's dating apps and like video calls and you know like, oh, are we gonna hang out or are you afraid of COVID? Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like we've really lost that aspect of like meeting somebody and having that connection because when I'm on my dating app, I'm just checking out boxes like, oh,
Mhm.
they're this type physically, their bio is funny, you know, whatever.
Mhm.
And then obviously none of them have worked because I'm here today single. So I didn't get like their personalities wasn't it. But when
Yeah.
you meet someone out, it doesn't really matter what their physical appearance looks like if you start like vibing and connecting with them.
Mhm.
But you don't get that through
It's like
Tinder
an
or
energy.
Hinge.
You
Yeah.
can't sense the energy
Yeah.
or the vibe.
Well, you just know sometimes, I feel like,
Yeah.
you know when you have a connection with someone.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it
it's
shocks
weird.
you. Like the people that you have connections with, or for me anyways, just come in like so many different arrays of like person.
Yeah.
So it's hard on a dating app. Like I don't know who
Yeah.
I'm gonna connect with.
It's so much time. I know you aren't into the apps. Never really have been.
No. But then sometimes like you have to be. And actually I was thinking about this earlier today because I was listening to your episode when you were talking about this, and I maybe am developing a different perspective. That's like as of today. This might be my hangover talking.
Oh my God,
Easter Sunday is scary.
This might be. No, but I think so. Actually, this is great because we're at a very different stage of life. I'm like kind of 10 years ahead of you, which is very fun. But very much also still dating. And
Mhm.
so I think now though, as much as I love the adventures and hilarious scenarios I get myself into, and I think you have to make them fun, otherwise it is
Yeah.
exhausting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
otherwise then it's just like the sea of darkness that
Yeah.
you look down. It's like, great, I've dated these assholes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
So instead there are these like really funny stories.
Yeah.
But I think it was much more around actually starting to approach dating differently from the perspective of wanting different results. And
Mhm.
and so whether that's through investing actual time and energy in dating apps, because I never have, like, ever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sarah's like a million messages and she's like, I can't.
I
can't
am
write
the
back.
exact
Yeah.
same way.
and
It's
like
brutal.
I don't talk to, like, yeah, anyways, it just doesn't.
You don't like texting, period.
I'm a very
That's
bad.
fair. And like I feel like texting people you don't know, it's like, okay, what do we talk about? I have no
Yeah.
idea. What did I do today? Like, do you really care? You don't
Could be
know.
anyone.
Yeah,
You don't have
exactly,
any
like-
idea.
You could just make something up.
I mean, yes, you could. And you could do that. And but I think the point is like, okay, if I want to approach this differently, then is there a way I can approach this differently where I actually have conversations
Yeah.
and like for 2 weeks say like, do you know what? I'm going to meet someone within like 2 or 3 days if we're having an interesting conversation. Set it up so you don't have to talk endlessly.
Yeah.
Because like I just won't do
Mm.
that. I don't know. I'm just
You're
reflecting about
exploring.
giving them a chance, maybe.
I love that.
Can I set
Opening
you
up
up
your
on some
heart.
blind dates? Like I want to go through out.
Yeah.
Meet this person.
Oh, that could be
8
interesting.
o'clock.
I did that with my friend
Really?
when she got out of like a really long-term relationship and decided that she wanted to start dating again. She hadn't dated anyone since she was like 14, so I did her Bumble for her and like messaged people the way that I think she would talk and just to warm her up and get her started. And then once she kind of came around to it and the conversations were kind of set up, she went in and did it. And she's fine now. She's like kind of seeing somebody right now that I did not message off the bat. So there you go. Did that on her own.
Look at her.
But it was a fun way to like transition her into
Yeah.
dating
Mm.
after not dating for that long.
Well, I think like reframing it, and because you're right, dating app fatigue is very real.
Yeah.
I think too, like,
Mhm.
and I do normally meet people in real life, and it's like literally a testament. In the last 2 weeks, I've met a ton of people,
Wow.
humans in
Love
bars.
that.
Do you know what? If you go to bars by yourself, people talk to you, and like, but not like bars like out drinking. But if you like go out and like sit,
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a drink,
yeah.
get dinner, people talk to you. It's a little
You're
different.
very social though.
I'm very social, so it's fine.
I am
I also
too.
have an X ring, which makes it very easy.
Yeah.
It's like an easy conversation
You're in a
starter.
cult.
Yeah. Which, but anyways, I'm just reflecting on this. I just think, you know,
Have fun.
I'm bringing a new focus to dating. How
If you
about
want a
that?
new result with dating, then you need to like completely change the way
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
you date. Like if you're always going for a coffee, try going for a drink or vice versa. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
think if you want to change your results, there's not too much that you need to change, like maybe about you, but maybe about like the
What you're doing,
setting and
yeah.
just make it different because then you're gonna act different. If you're going to like the same coffee shop over and over again for the same date, do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Try to do
Oh my
something
God,
different.
yes.
Put yourself out of your comfort zone. Go to that new fun Bar Sophia. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Get
that's
Oh,
out
it's
there.
so fun.
Looks
Mhm.
cute.
You guys would love that place.
We've been wanting to. Can I just put this out into the
Put
universe?
into the world.
We've been wanting to set up like a singles mixer,
Yeah.
but not like fun tack. You know what I mean? Like bring like a
Mhm.
bunch of like good guys that we could recruit.
Yeah.
and a
Like the
bunch of
Bachelor,
good girls.
Bachelor.
Yeah, and just like everyone meet up at the same place and just like
It'll be like
chat.
What's the Bachelor one they do? They all come together.
Oh,
Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
It'll be
yeah.
like that,
Should
but
we
an
get a bunch of
afternoon
hotel
event.
rooms?
No.
Fantasy suite.
Oh my god. Do you know
I'll be
what someone?
like Chris is canceled, I think, but like I'll be him. Christmas.
Oh, that sounds good. Did you know that someone told me about this group called Nightshade in Halifax? Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Oh, it sounds spicy.
So
Catch
I
us
heard
up.
about this yesterday, and apparently there is like a cult erotica group here. No, it's like called like it's just like
I think you
underground.
brought this
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
And I only
Mark
heard
brought
about this
this up to
last
us
night.
too.
And they
Oh.
rent a floor of a hotel
know.
at the Atlantica once a month, and it's just like everyone
sex
goes.
club?
Like doors are
I
wide
think
open.
so. I
That's
don't know. I don't
crazy.
know. Someone just told me. I think we have to look into
You
this.
take my room key.
Apparently.
Maybe
Oh,
Maddie,
interesting.
since we're not dating anymore, we should go undercover
I think you should.
And
At the Atlantica?
and go to the Atlantica and
You
do
might-
a whole investigative journal moment.
I'm terrified, but I'm down.
We'll
Who knows?
Try and
get you some
get
fun
in there.
outfits to wear, like some
Yeah.
nice latexy.
Just be like, is this where? What's
Dom-
it called?
I like show up like
What?
a dominatrix.
Nightshades.
Is
I
this where the
dominatrix.
Nightshade's gathering is?
Nightshades.
Sure.
Honestly, send me
Yeah.
an invite in the mail, guys. I will attend.
Yeah.
Seriously.
We love this so much.
Investigative journalism.
Yay.
I think that could be very fun. I have 2 questions.
Okay, I have a
Okay.
question too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to know what both of your rising signs are. So it's not an important question. It's just one that I'm curious about because we talked about it.
Aries.
Okay. You're
No,
both
No,
Aries
no,
rising.
rising is Leo. Lauren's not good at horoscopes.
Oh,
You're
wait,
Taurus, Sagittarius, Leo.
Where's the Aries?
You weren't actually Aries. You thought you were, remember?
No, I am. Haley checked my birth chart. It was.
And then we
Aries.
don't have the same rising. Mine's Leo. Because I'm
Sorry, that was a horrible answer to your
Oh,
question.
Well, that's
I'm
okay.
Aries, I'm Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Like
And-
Leo's my rising.
And then what am I?
We have the same moon,
Which is?
Sagittarius.
I'm gonna have to get back
I
to
hope
you.
you didn't
All
tattoo
right.
this
All
on
right.
you.
Yeah. Don't get.
I
the
already have an
tattoo.
Aries tattoo on my back, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. but-
I don't know what mine is. Mars? No, what's that?
Mars, that's a planet.
Mars, Venus.
Having a very strong connection. Something to do with Mars. That's all I'm going.
Do you know what? I've
Saturn, Mars, Jupiter. I
this.
don't know.
It wasn't important. I don't know why I wanted to know that, but anyways, you go.
We should tell them about the Rebecca.
Yes.
Yes. Oh wow, that was
Like
Hello.
Sacred Starlight,
yeah,
the astrologer.
yeah.
Okay, so we have an
so
astrologer
excited.
that has
She's
been on our
amazing.
show. She's amazing.
Wow.
And-
Obviously, I need to call her.
Yeah.
She does like the most beautiful reading for an hour. for
An
you.
hour and a half.
Yeah.
And neither of us were into astrology.
Yeah, we were curious, and she gives you like this long PDF of everything that she'll document, so you can kind of go back. And a lot of the things, like not in severe importance, but things she said were like they showed up in like even just a minuscule of
Mine
of it.
showed up 100. Like mine more recently.
But she kept telling me I was going to buy a property. It was going to be on a hill. It was going to be like in a valley setting. And I mean, we did go and look and thought about buying. That didn't happen, but it was like close enough. It was like we did almost buy a house on a hill.
And like maybe you will still. Who knows?
I know.
Mhm.
But that was kind of more for the year. She does like a yearly reading.
She does
Oh,
a
that's
yearly, and she
cool.
tells you key dates. But it was crazy on my last one. She's like, I just have to ask you, like, are you dating right now? She's like, I'm seeing something on February 16th. Like, there's going to be like some sort of romantic connection. And I was like, all right, we'll see. Anyways, of course, I get a text message that day from Geneva, the matchmaker, and it was like, hey, there's a guy I want to set you up with. And it was just like
Crazy.
so weird. Like,
Yeah, it's
She
like,
can
wow,
sense that
that's
stuff.
crazy.
You know what I mean? Like in some respects.
she always refers to it as like reading the weather. She's like, this
That's
isn't like me.
crazy.
She's like,
Yeah.
I'm just like reading what's in your chart, but she's very good. So I'm always curious when people talk about
No,
astrology.
I'm
'cause
super
like,
interested. I wanted to go to like a psychic or something. My birthday's coming up, so I want to go like on my birthday.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll.
You
hit her
should
up.
go.
Yeah.
Like, that would be really fun.
It's really nice. She really gives you this beautiful chart that she goes through because you don't really know what it means.
Yeah.
You see like these symbols and these lines and these degrees, and she kind of like goes through it really. She's so calm and she's gorgeous. It's just like a nice experience.
you're a
Just
Leo
awesome.
rising as well,
Thank
just so
you.
you know.
Love that. What's my name?
Yeah,
What are you?
I Cancer. I'm like
Oh, yeah.
Cancer.
I'm a Gemini, like through and through
Hmm.
too. Anyways.
Anyways,
I feel.
we're learning.
Yeah, I know. I need to check mine now.
Yeah.
Now I need to.
No,
check
the way
mine.
we checked it last week for you though.
I know.
Like, we were
We'll
like,
we'll
"Oh,
we'll
maybe
do
that's-
yours after this. We'll find it and
We'll
just
figure it out.
see. Okay.
Just
did
to
you-
What's your second question?
my second question is I want them to share one of their dating stories.
Okay.
Because I think this will just give like the audience a peek at the
A
weekend
little,
roundup.
Like a little
Sneak.
cliffhanger.
Because it's like
Okay.
fun.
ones that we've already shared on the show.
Whatever is in your heart today, you just dig down there, whatever you feel is right.
I mean, I do kind of tease the getting peed on.
The
Yeah,
getting
I think
peed
you should
on.
say getting peed on, and I'll do Maddie Mannequins to Murder.
I was
Like,
gonna say
that's the
Nathan.
episode. Or Nathan's a good one because that's our first episode.
Okay, yeah. So our
But
first,
the audio quality of that one, if you go back and listen, is great.
yeah. So maybe don't listen to our first episode, and I'll just tell you what happened.
Okay, that
because
sounds
It
good.
was
Yeah.
recorded on my MacBook.
Yeah.
So the podcast this is the first story we told, and the story that kind of made us like tell
Do
the
the
episode
podcast.
or do the podcast. I had never been on a date before when I was like 20 years
Yeah.
old. And I was on Tinder and I matched with this really nice guy, and his name was Jacob, and he was super cute. He was older than me. He was 29. I was 20. And we matched on Tinder and had exchanged a couple messages, and then he gave me his cell phone number, which I thought was great because people our age just give you their Snapchat, and I'm really over that.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like it.
People like communicate only by Snapchat. It's so
Yeah.
weird.
That's so crazy.
Like that. Like if
Like-
someone gives me their Snapchat, I just
It's
don't
an
talk to
ick.
them. Yeah.
I don't like it. I
And then they'll just send you photos of themselves for like literally 6 weeks and never hang out with you.
it's kind of
like,
an
okay.
immediate
Guys, figure it out.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of an immediate signal that we're not on the same page.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what
and
I
that's
mean?
like
You
good
just
when you
wanna
talk
be
about
like
your
send-
self-care.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if somebody sends me their Snapchat, I immediately know. Like I just don't think it's gonna, we're not on that
It's not
same
gonna
You just
vibe.
want to hook up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he gave me his number, which I thought was great. We texted a little bit, and he asked me out on a date, and I was so excited because I'd never been on a date before. Mainly because I came from like a small town, like nobody goes on dates
Mhm.
where I was
You go on
from.
like group dates.
Yeah.
Not even
Really? Not to the movies? Like,
No.
oh,
like
okay.
I guess maybe yeah, like when I was in like 10th grade, but I had never gone on like an actual
Proper
date. And I remember I was so jealous because like Maddie had gone on dates before, and I was like, I just want to go on one, and I
That was
really
going
romanticized
well.
it in my
Yeah.
head. So I was all excited to go on this date, and I went, and I took my girls with me, and they sat at a different place in the restaurant. I was so nervous. And
Yeah, he didn't know we were there.
yeah, and
Cute.
the date went great. Like there was so much chemistry right off the bat, connection. There was no lull in conversation at all. And then it kind of started to get weird. Or actually, my first kind of red flag was because he said that we would meet at Niche, and then I was waiting in line at Niche, and he called me and said that his ex was there, and so he wanted to go somewhere else. So that's kind of like a okay. Do you know what I mean? They can
Yeah, that's
control
kinda
that,
weird,
but I
like-
was kind of
Yeah.
So get there, date's going well, and then he apologized for his ex being there. Said, yeah, that's no worries. Like, how long have you guys been broken up for? He said like maybe like 7 months, 7, 8 months, and that they were still in a lease together, and that he had moved in with his brother because his brother had like a finished basement, and she was still in the apartment. He was still paying rent on it or whatever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's also a red flag. And he's saying he lives with his brother, he's looking to buy a house, whatever. And then he said, that his brother was having a party that night, so he rented a hotel room for himself. And I said,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, whatever. It kept going on, and then he started mentioning like me coming back to the hotel with him.
Before you ran into him yet.
No, we
Oh,
were
you were
already
together.
into the
Okay.
date at this point.
Okay.
This was in conversation.
Okay, gotcha.
And so he started saying like, oh yeah, maybe you can come back to mine. And I kind of laughed and said something like, no, like,
It's my
and
first date.
yeah, this is my first date, whatever.
Relax.
And honestly, like the sexual connection just from the first date was really strong. So if I think if I didn't like him, honestly, I probably would have done it. Like, but I actually did like him and thought that maybe there was a little bit of a future. So I didn't go home with him, and I told him no. And we walked outside, and he kissed me goodbye, and he left. And he texted me afterwards like, that was great. Actually, before he left, he asked me on another date. I was finishing up my co-op, so he said that he would take me out to dinner at the end of the week. Left, kissed me goodbye, texted me that he had a great time. I had a great time. He texted me later that night that it wasn't too late to go back to the hotel room if I wanted to, and
Yeah, weird.
I didn't answer. I don't think, this was so long ago. But anyway, next morning I was blocked. I
And-
was sending.
What do you mean?
Like,
you blocked
He
your number?
blocked you on.
And Lauren had no idea. I felt really bad because
I was a little
Lauren,
naive.
Lauren was like, yeah, like he just hasn't answered me all day. And like I was like, oh. And this was like, I don't know, like
6 p.m.
6, like it was like later, and I was like, oh, like he ghosted you? And like you could just see Lauren realize it on her face. Like,
In that moment.
Oh, he's
And
like,
then when I
yeah.
showed Maddie the text and the text was green,
I was like, oh, I think you.
Oh, is that a thing?
blocked
Oh,
him.
see, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
I never-
if you're iMessaging someone and then they block you, it goes to text.
Oh, I didn't know
I didn't know
that.
that
Yeah.
either.
Like it could be just if their Wi-Fi's off, but also
that's
if they
normally the
blocked you.
first warning sign.
Yeah.
Where
Okay.
there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
Listen
So
up, people.
so then I really still thought that we were gonna work out and that Jacob was the one for me. So later on that night, when he still didn't answer me, I was at Maddie's house and I said, you know what, let's call him. Let's just call him off of your phone and block the caller ID and just see what happens. And it rang, whatever. And then his voicemail came on and it said, hey, this is Nathan.
Yeah.
Please leave a message. And we have the video, and as we're listening, because we were recording to see like if he had said anything, we could like watch it back on the tapes or whatever, because we're sneaky like that. And
This is like
so we could
Also, this is girls.
so that we could hyper analyze, like analyze
yeah,
everything.
no.
So in the video, I'm like, who the fuck is Nathan? And then we got all of the girls in the case. Like we had every single person that we knew looking up. We're repeating everything I know about him. I was like, okay, well, he said he went to school here. He said he played lacrosse here. He went to high school here. Like, and we are going through like yearbooks, online, news articles.
It was like
I mean,
FBI.
But I love this because our friends do this as well. And
It was another
you,
level.
you have to.
Oh, I know if someone's like, if you get a first name and like one other piece of information,
That's all you need.
that is
Oh,
all
yeah.
we
You
need.
get this stuff. Yeah.
I think we all
you do.
no, yeah, like yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened?
Well, we searched the internet high and low and we could not find him anywhere. And we had our best experts on the case. Like I was
We
not
were
in there.
concerned. We were like, he's a ghost,
Yeah.
literally.
Like, so all of us were looking at it. Eventually we found him. His name is Mason. And I'll say that's his real first name. We found, so he lied about his name. We were only able to
And
find
his voicemail had his wrong name too.
Yeah, so I think that was his work phone actually, because I found out where he worked. So I think the number he had given me was his work phone and not his personal phone, because the voicemail was also very like, you've reached.
It's just the way he's had
da-da-da."
6 names.
Yeah, so many names.
What?
And we were just able to find him from like a lacrosse.
Was he like married or
photo.
something weird?
Yeah.
We think so.
I
I think
know-
he was in like a long-term
This
relationship.
happened to a friend of mine. I won't say
Yeah.
anymore because I don't remember the names, but this exact thing. It was a different
Yeah.
person, different
It's
name,
crazy.
and like speculated that they might
Yeah.
get married.
So
Yeah.
he actually turned like deactivated all of his social media right after the date, so we couldn't find him for weeks. We did find out who he was from like an old lacrosse photo. That was the only thing on the internet that we could find him. But we were on like page 14 of Google. Who goes back that far? Nobody.
No.
Yeah.
But you
So-
do on a mission. Like
Yeah,
exactly.
You just
Um,
keep hoping.
Yeah, so we couldn't find him for weeks. We ended up telling the story anyways, and then like maybe like 4 or 5 months later, we just kind of gave it another look, and he had reactivated, and he had either a long-term
Resurrected.
girlfriend or it was his wife. I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Ooh, that's a good
And
story.
I reported him, and I did see him again actually a couple weeks ago
Really?
with the correct name, with Mason. So he is on Tinder, ladies.
He's out there.
Be warned.
Be
Mhm.
Be
warned.
warmed for Mason.
For
Yeah.
Mason,
Yeah.
You've got bad juju.
Mason is the
happening.
only name we have ever said like on the
Actually,
podcast that
because
is
like
real.
it's scary.
Is
Like, I
that
don't
even
want
his
other
name? I
people
don't
to-
know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nathan,
manipulate.
Jacob, Mason,
Yeah.
whoever you are.
Bob.
Yeah, that was our first
Yeah.
dating story that we said, and also my very first date.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry, is
Kinda
that
went
that's
well.
the thing that inspired the podcast to start?
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Like this was like we had talked about doing the podcast, but then this happened, and then 2 weeks later we were like, we should record that.
yeah, that'd
that's
be a
a
good
crazy
first
story.
episode. So it's called Who
Mhm.
Fucks Nathan.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Maddie, what's your story?
Yeah. Mine, I kind of said I had a bad Tinder story before. This is the one that made me delete all my dating apps, so not good. But
This is one of our best episodes, like one of our favorite episodes.
What episode number is it?
I don't know.
what
It's
number.
in season 1. It's one of our earlier episodes.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
called Maddie, Mannequins, and Murder. And if you do want to listen, be warned that it also is recorded on a laptop in my head.
It's like not
It's
great.
very
audio,
genuine,
but-
raw audio. Sounds like a
we loved
voicemail.
it. No, so me and this guy matched on Tinder, and he didn't have his actual name. He only had a letter. It was Z. So we were like, I was like,
Another real name.
So mysterious.
Yes, this is a
Like,
mysterious.
of course, I would
yes.
eat it up, right?
Yeah.
And
I want
then-
to preface this story though by saying that Maddie was in some type of episode when this happened. I don't know what was going on upstairs.
This was like mid-COVID, kind of. Like this was when
All
COVID
right.
just like opened up, kind of. Like things were like kind of opening up. It was what would it have been? Christmas, like just after Christmas 2020.
Yeah.
It was actually like this whole story happened between Christmas Day and New Year's Eve. And then, which is
1 week.
such a mysterious time of year. Yeah, seriously. And
she loves to have like little quick rendezvous. We're never gonna look at.
intense,
Yeah.
intense flings.
Love it.
Yeah, so we matched on Tinder, and it was like Christmas Day we matched, and then he was like, let's hang out tomorrow. And like I found like he gave me his social media, like he was like sending me pictures of himself, so I knew he was real. I was like, okay, fair. And like I'm like you, like how you said you don't want to like spend so long having these awkward conversations. So I was like, I'm down, okay. So it's Boxing Day, so everything's closed. And he was like, so let's just like drive to the beach, go to the beach, do something fun. I was like, sounds good. So he picks me up, and then he's like, I don't want to go to the beach anymore. And I was like, okay. He's like, let's go. Let me take you to where I work. I was like, okay. I had no idea what he did for work. Like I was
Really?
like, okay, yeah, like let's just go to your work. I figured it was like a restaurant or something. Like he was a server or something. So I was like, yeah. We go, and it's like a construction building. Like it's like a half-built building. So it's like basically just like huge apartment building with like no real walls or anything.
I'm
It's, like-
sorry.
Yeah, I know. I
Never
was
seen
like,
it.
I'll tell you what building it is when we're done recording. And
yeah,
you're like,
We have so much to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
To
yeah.
debrief.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've got
also,
popcorn in my bag.
okay, wait, here's another thing. So last night, I'm just going to interject, and I
No,
want to know if you girls
100%.
do this. I was sharing, we were with a group of guys last night, a couple of girls and I, and men find this so funny when they find out that girls share their location with each other. Like
all-
they don't
they all
even,
do.
first of
No.
all, know it's a thing. Men don't even know it's a thing that's on the phone. And then
Like-
they're like, what do you mean your friends have your location? I'm like, I'm sorry. Are
They
you not
track
like,
me so I don't get murdered?
Yeah,
Like
we
it's
care
so
about each
crazy. And like, no, that's actually so funny that guys are just so it's over their head. Like
they don't know it exists.
We were
Jeff
talking about-
shares it with like 2 of his friends.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
but
That's
it's,
nice.
No, we were talking about Glove Guy the other day. Do you guys know about Glove Guy? Like how
oh yeah. One of our
And we were like,
friends,
why did guys
boyfriend got picked up by him.
So
Yeah.
many people have, and it's like
Some
okay,
guy in our
why are
class
you
was
getting in the
telling
car?
us.
Like
Who's
A
Glove
woman
Guy?
would
This is
never.
another, like,
it's like this guy that picks up young men and then like makes them try on gloves.
It's a
while he
cake.
drives them home.
But he doesn't like do anything.
is he like
No,
an actual cab driver or just like
No.
a
no,
random
he
guy?
just like will roll up and be like, hey, do you need to drive home? Like, and to like drunk young men, and they'll be like, yeah, of course. But
Whereas a
'cause,
woman
like,
would never do
Should we
that.
start is it fans only or OnlyFans?
only
Oh my-
fans.
Should we start an OnlyFans account just like
Trying gloves on?
So actually, to go
Ooh.
on YouTube, somebody sent this to us in our DMs.
There's
when
a
we were
video
talking
of him.
There's a video of him on YouTube trying on gloves, and it's just like man tries on the other gloves. There's no talking, there's
Yeah.
no sound,
It's
but it
so
is like a kind of like underground kink that you can get away with posting on YouTube because it's not actually
Yeah.
like, overtly
It's not like
sexual.
sexual unless you
Let's
have the
do this.
fetish.
Yeah.
Let's see where the creeps go.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's like all
but
those
yeah.
Facebook. Oh, I'm really gonna get on a tangent now.
I know.
Those are Facebook videos where people are like cooking with their hands.
Yeah.
That's a kink.
Oh, I
That's
didn't know
why
that
they're
was a
so
kink.
popular. The well
Mm.
manicured hands, and they're like putting their hands in food. I always thought those were weird, like those random Facebook
Yes.
videos that pop up. They're like, the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a cake. I saw a
Weird.
whole video.
I
unpacking
did
it,
not
yeah.
know this.
No, yeah, that's the whole
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
But it's funny you say that because on the date I was like Snapchatting the whole thing. Like I like posted on my private Snapchat story. Like I was basically vlogging the date without him knowing because I was like, this is getting kind of fucked. And also no one would believe me. Like, and I want evidence if I die. Like that's
Yes.
kind of where my head was at. Like I was like kind of scared.
So she was like live updating.
Yeah.
him.
So we're like, okay, he's like, yeah, like, let's go to the top of the building. And I was like, okay, like, sure. I'm terrified. We're like going up the stairs, walk up like so many stairs because it's literally an unbuilt building. We get to the top and he like walks out onto the roof and he's like, come on, like, let's look over the edge. Like,
Oh,
and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna just stay back here. Like, I'm scared of heights. It's fine. Like,
Maddie
no
has a video
names.
of this guy on the like edge of the building. He's like, come on over.
Like it's
Why?
like I don't know. Like I was like, this is so weird. Like I get it. Like things aren't open. Like you're trying to do something
Outside
creative
the
maybe, but it's
box.
like this is a little too much for a first date. Like you need to know that you're coming off.
it's not
like
like a
serial
little
killer.
too much.
No, like it's
It's
too
An
much.
abandoned construction
Exactly.
site.
Like it's terrifying, and there's like tools everywhere, and
It's
like
not like this is downtown too. Like this was in the middle of nowhere.
yeah,
Honestly.
like I was like, this is sketchy. So and then like we leave and he's like, okay, well, like, do you want to come back to my house with me? And at this point I'm like, well, I didn't die yet, so if he was gonna kill me, like he probably would
God
have
love you.
already. So I was like, okay, let's go.
Were you having a connection with him a little bit?
Like we had a good conversation, and like
just said that she wanted to bang. Okay.
yeah, that's where I was
Like I
at.
may have zoned out for a minute.
That's where I was at, and also
You're
too,
like,
though,
can I salvage this? That's what's going through my mind. Can I
Exactly.
make
Yeah.
this
You've
happen?
come this far.
Can there be something from this? And like also like at this point in time, it's like I didn't talk to anyone for like 2 years. Like
Z
yeah.
has
you know,
been,
like COVID.
dangerous. I'm into
Exactly,
it.
like, it's
He's
like,
pulled me
okay.
in.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, let's go. So we go to his house. His house is like above an abandoned retail space downtown. So we go in and it's like an abandoned store and there's like mannequins everywhere. Like, and I was like, oh.
Naked, creepy mannequins, full Pretty Little Liars style.
I was like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is where I die. like, of course.
the
like,
building objectively was a better way to go.
Yeah, like
than
I was
this.
like, honestly, a fall would have been better than the
Whatever this
terrified
is
of what
about
is
to be.
about to happen. And he's like, and I'm like making jokes kind of at this point, like, like I would think you were a serial killer if you were being so fucking like nice, like literally terrified, like, because what are you supposed to do, you know? Like it's just such a weird situation. And then we go upstairs to his apartment. It's like pretty normal. But then he's like, let me show you the basement.
Oh my
I
God,
was like,
Maddie!
you have to be kidding me right now.
So she
So-
marches her dumbass down there.
And I'm filming. I'm like, yeah, I'm filming. So if you're a serial killer, like I'll have evidence. And then he like was like, well, I'll just like take your phone and destroy your phone. And I was like, dude, I was kidding. Like that didn't seem like a joke. And his basement was like so creepy, like unfinished.
Why
like,
did he want to show you his basement?
I don't
Retail shit is
know,
down
like,
there.
yeah, like it's like
Down there.
so gross. Like it's like really like a store's basement. Like it was so creepy. I was like, okay. Then we go upstairs, we go in his room. He's a chiropractor student, so he has just like a spine, like a spine on his bed. And I was like, oh, what's that? Like just every possible red flag. Like I was like terrified. But then he drove me home and that was it. And then actually we kept
So you
talking.
never fulfilled the duty that day.
No, we did.
Okay.
They did.
He
You missed that
pretended to
part.
he pretended to throw me down the
I
stairs.
didn't know he wanted
What?
to know that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we were like he was like carrying me from the couch to the bedroom
And
and
having
like
a moment.
yeah, and he like held me over the stairs and he was like gonna drop me like as a
Okay,
joke.
that's too far.
I know, and I was like,
My
okay,
heart's
man, like
racing
that's
too.
not
It's
no
one of those
literally.
stairs that dropped down.
Yeah.
There's a
like
railing.
it's like, and I was like, whoa, like that's not funny. like that was too much.
He has like a weird kink.
No, he definitely loved to like intimidate women. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Like that was definitely a thing for him. Because
Yeah.
why would you do all that stuff? Like there's no way in his head that was like.
You haven't
a
even
normal
mentioned
thing.
the funnest part
What is the funnest part?
about.
Oh yeah, he was human branded too,
What?
and it was like a burnt.
Oh my God.
It was a burnt letter, and like it was on his hip, and he was like, "Oh, like me and my roommates did this. Like it was like a fun thing me and my roommates did," and I was like,
Cool.
I don't know what kind of roommates you're having. Like that is very strange, but yeah, it was super weird. And then
So funny.
yeah, and then we beefed over text, and then ended and never saw him again. He moved.
Yeah.
He moved away.
I want to
that's
know
the
when
story
you
on
guys
Z.
see you're talking about Mason, you're talking about the Z guy. When you guys see these people resurrect on the dating apps, like do you warn your friends? Like does everyone
Yeah.
know like this
We
guy?
get on our
Oh,
podcast.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Z hasn't been around.
No.
Like Z left, and
Okay.
I think he's in Toronto or something now. But we openly talk about Mason.
Yeah, and I reported his account again and sent like a whole detailed thing to Tinder about it because trying to get young girls back to his hotel room when he's married.
Catfishing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
catfishing. So I don't know if
Crazy.
his public is still profile, but yeah, maybe analyze very carefully the Jacob, Nathan, and
Yeah.
Masons.
Of the
Just be
world.
aware. Be aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can message these girls and find out if
Send us a
Of course.
screenshot and I'll let you know.
Halifax.
And if anyone's on this journey that Maddie's on, just leave. earlier.
No, literally just
Yeah.
leave. Like don't try to make it anything.
Just know.
like that
it's
was
not gonna be good.
definitely a learning moment for me. Like I haven't done anything crazy like that since, or not even crazy, just like dumb.
Dangerous, blatantly dangerous.
Yeah, like very
Like,
dangerous.
dumb. Listen to your intuition.
I think we should play a game.
I think we should play a
I'd
game
love
as
to play a
well.
game.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna play
Game
a round
time.
of Queenie Grams,
Okay.
our made-up game. It is very easy. All you do is pick a number between 1 and 146, each of you, and we'll ask you a question. We'll all go around.
I'm nervous.
86.
86.
That's the first number that came into my
Good.
head.
I like that. I don't think we've had 86.
All right,
ever,
Lauren.
or in a long time.
What's one habit you think you wish you could drop?
Smoking weed.
Yeah.
Probably biting my nails. I'm a horrible nail biter. I think
Now
I'm
I'm
just
looking at your
anxious. I
nails.
know. Here you go.
Really?
Nail reveal. I'm just anxious through and through, so I'll bite them to the end of time. But that's probably the worst one. Yeah.
Fair.
Fair. Very fair. Maddie, what about you? Is there a habit you want to drop?
I mean, I would like, this isn't really a drop, but I just need to get on a normal sleep schedule. Like my sleep schedule is so messed up.
Amen.
Like I'm constantly either like awake all night or sleeping all day, or like it's just messed up. So if I could just fix my sleep schedule, that would be nice.
That is what mine is right now. Is I'd like
Mhm.
to drop going to bed late. I
Yeah.
need to go to bed this week. Last week I was up till 2 a.m. every
Yeah.
night or more. It's
Mhm.
crazy.
It's like I can't do that.
No, it's terrible. What about you, Ash?
Cracking my like
Oh.
muscles and stuff. I won't do it right now. I thought about that. I'm like, why did I do that?
All right, that's a good one. All right, Maddie, pick a number for us.
What about you?
I said going to bed.
Oh, you want
sleep.
to
I want to stop staying up late.
Okay.
Okay, mine's 47.
47.
Is that a good one?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Let's find
I'm
out.
nervous.
What are you most self-conscious about?
Oh.
These are
I'm like,
really good
I
ones
don't
today.
know what to say. I don't know. I don't know if I'm really self-conscious about anything really other than the podcast, which I know is like a kind of a bad thing to say, but
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably what I think about the most. Like every week when we put in an episode, like I get super anxious about it, or like just I'm always just self-conscious of like how people are perceiving me, kind of like what I was talking about earlier. So I would probably say that.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
What about you, Lauren?
I mean, it's definitely my body. 100%. Like I think I just have always struggled with image, and then I think also starting the podcast has accelerated that to such an extreme level, especially talking about like my sex life and being like a plus size girl in media now has definitely made me way more self-aware of myself. But I've struggled with food and having like a healthy relationship with working out for a long time, and I think I finally now am in a place where I'm really comfortable with that. So definitely starting to see improvements there, working for being strong instead of like unhealthy mindsets. But I think that would have to be it for sure. And the podcast too, because I'm constantly anxious that the episode sucked. Like as soon as we leave, I always think that was garbage. We should probably redo it. And then, it ends up being a great episode. So,
yeah. I think those are normal things. What about you? What are you most
Right now
self-conscious
it's my
about?
teeth.
Oh!
Well, only because as
Yeah.
most of our listeners know, but I had braces, but I'm going through I'm getting some, I want to say like fake teeth done.
Crowns. 2 crowns.
So I'm getting
Fake
some
teeth.
things like moved apart in order to put it all back together. And I'm like, I've never been self-conscious about my teeth ever. And now I am, because I'm like, oh, I have these like plastic things, but I love you, Dr. Manuel.
Yeah, I think your teeth, they don't even look.
But I think that's
But
the
it
point.
is like it's
something
a
about
change.
you,
Yeah.
it bothers
like, yeah.
you, and you're like, this doesn't make me feel good, but I'll be done in like a month. So
100%.
I don't have a very serious answer to this question.
We all got kind of serious.
Yeah,
I know,
know.
but I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
what I'm self-conscious about right now. So I unfortunately have nothing to other than
Honestly,
I
good for
am.
you, though.
I no. There's definitely things I just can't think of it right now. My mind's like not firing on all cylinders. But one that is very funny is I am self-conscious about my calves because they're very large. I have very large calves.
So am I.
Oh my gosh.
I think ours
No.
are the same.
So
No.
specific. That's very
Listen,
interesting.
I will tell you once. So
You
I
want
have
some
this.
stuff
I will tell you once.
I will tell you once. I have this
Never again.
this life crush on this boy named Doug Nichols. We went to high school together. I loved him. Everyone
fair.
knows
Where
this.
are you?
That's fair.
No, we still talk. He lives in. He's like, I don't think
Did
he's
he
married.
make fun of your
He's got-
calves?
Anyways, we
No.
finally, after my first year of university and back home for the summer, Doug and I are like in a romantic tryst, like dating, spending time together. It's lovely. Anyways, one night we're at a party outside. I was standing up in front of him talking to him, and he had his hands on the back of my legs, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, your calves are huge. And he's like, hey guys, come over here, see how big your calves are. I was like, horrible.
That is a core
But, like,
memory
you're
that
like-
will never shake.
That's brutal.
Let's just put
So,
out there
it's
they're
not that-
muscular calves. They're not
No,
like
like that's a good. Like
they're
I grew
nice
up playing
calves.
soccer. I'm like, oh my god, what I would do to have huge, nice calves. Like that's a huge compliment. But I get what you're saying. Like once in 8th grade, literally this guy who I had this massive crush on, like I was like in love with him, said that he was like, oh my God, when you laugh, you have a double chin. And I'll still to this day catch myself going like this when I'm like on FaceTime laughing. Like just holding my shirt over
You
my
do
chin.
that.
I
didn't
do
know
that.
that's why
I
you
do
did
that, and that's why, because the guy that I was obsessed with said that, and then I'll catch myself doing it and be like, no, like I don't care. I'm
Let-
cool.
A guy,
Let it
a
out.
guy
Let it out.
told me, this guy, like, we kind of liked each other, and then like I didn't like him, and then he got like really mean.
Oh,
And yeah,
the
he
worst.
used to tell me I was like fat and stuff.
What?
Yeah, and I like,
Good.
I mean,
That's
curvy,
very weird.
but in like
What?
high school, I was certainly like not. Like I was like, you're a fucking asshole.
Isn't that so mean? Guys
And-
point out the
oh.
weirdest shit. My ex pointed
He
out my
was
stretch marks one
gross.
time and said,
No,
ew.
Like,
What?
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, so rude.
Okay,
Yeah.
I do
I
want to
have lots of
defend
stretch marks.
Doug's
They're fine.
character
No,
because
I
he
love
wasn't doing it to be mean. He was like literally
Sorry,
in
Doug.
pure like amazement.
I
He
get
thought it was
Doug's-
great.
I'm upset.
And we just, he's untarnished in my memory forever. He's
Good for
a
him.
wonderful
Still
human.
hope.
So,
Yeah, but people are rude. Now this is like making me mad.
well, what? I didn't mean to turn it. I thought
No,
that
no,
was
you.
funny.
I kind of at that moment for
No, I know.
Oh,
Same.
now
I'm like,
like,
thinking about like
oh.
Dawson from grade 8. I'm like,
The
how
three of us
dare
are in
you?
our
Alright,
yes,
guys,
and
I'm
you're on a whole
gonna-
other level.
You're like,
I
I
don't know.
don't have a serious answer, and we're like, that is serious.
Yeah.
We'll make it
How am
serious.
I the one who's hungover and then like the most optimistic about life right now?
I don't know.
Anyways, I'm gonna pick a nice happy one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you pick
fair.
a good one.
Because I'm very concerned for everyone
It's a
right
good
now.
idea.
All right. What's your favorite DQ Blizzard flavor? That's what we're going with.
I want a
today.
blizzard now.
Yeah.
I think this is turning the tides of our mood.
Should I go
hopefully.
first?
Yeah,
I know the
go
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, go.
Oreo.
I was gonna say Oreo. I think Oreo. Like, and I like the Oreo one with like the peanut butter in the middle.
Oh, I've
Do you know
never
what I'm
had
talking
Oh,
about?
I've
It's like
never had that.
it's like a
It's the
special-
supreme.
Yeah, it's like a crazy one.
Supreme.
The supreme one.
Do they still do score?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Or not score?
You're okay.
S'more.
You're not eating enough
S'more.
blizzards. If you have to ask that,
S'mores. Do they still do s'mores?
I
I
don't
think that's like
know.
a special one.
That's definitely
like a
Okay.
once a
That
year.
was your
The
like.
last time I remember eating like consistent blizzards was the s'more flavor. So I think that is it
Okay.
for me.
Have you ever had
default.
Keji Makujic? I don't know if it's Farmers that makes it.
I don't know.
So good.
So
I used
it's
to work in an ice
basically
cream
like that.
place.
It's like marshmallow, chocolate, graham cracker, vanilla ice cream.
I like the
chocolate,
graham cracker. I like a little crunch.
Yeah.
in there,
Yeah.
A little
you know?
texture.
like
All right.
cookies and cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to have a little something with it. You know, make it a
Little
hearty
something,
meal.
Something to grab
Mm.
onto.
Mm-hmm. Something to grab onto.
I'm always down for the Oreo. Is my
Yeah.
number one, but Reese's is my
Yeah,
close second.
Reese's.
Reese's is good.
Reese's. I find like my husband loves Smarties, and I'm like, but the Smarties get like frozen.
I find Smarties boring. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know,
I just
but
feel
they
like
do
there's
have a
no
good
texture
crunch.
all
They
the way
do.
through.
I think Smarties has texture. all the way through.
I just
You
feel like they're
think?
so few and far between.
But like the
And
Oreo,
they're-
Maybe not
You can
texture.
double up.
Like
Oh,
Oreo,
well, then,
I think
yeah.
like it's like
Yeah.
always, you know, like I feel like Smarties are like you might get a bite with a Smartie, you might not.
Hmm.
That's kind of how I
Disappointing.
feel. Yeah.
Sarah made a cake that's still sitting in the studio. We might have to dip into that.
No,
soon.
I'll take a piece home, guys. Don't even
Yeah,
worry.
don't let it go to waste.
Do you want to do a Queenie Graham, Ashley?
Yeah, I do.
What
I
one
want a
would you
number we
like?
never have. Can you just pick one?
Oh yeah,
for
I
me?
will. I will.
Sarah's turn.
This is a fun game. I like it.
I like this.
We used to have
Ooh.
physical cards, but we keep adding.
All right.
questions.
Yeah.
79 all-time best girl band. I'm so excited to hear what you two have to say to this because I think it's going to be different than what you and I have to say.
I mean, there's not that many girl bands out there anymore.
No.
but let
right
them.
now.
I want to hear.
Okay, I'll
I'm-
answer last.
Yeah. No, you
All-time
can
Yes,
answer
ma'am.
before me. You can
Mm.
answer before me. I just want to hear their. I don't want us to influence them.
I feel like I can only think of the Spice Girls right now. I'm like girl band.
I
Spice
think-
Girls and Fifth Harmony.
You've got someone else.
Oh,
in
Fifth
mind.
Harmony. Yeah.
Mine was Fifth Harmony.
Yeah.
Not because I think that they are the best girl band, but because they are my girl band. Like they're my
Mm.
nostalgic.
They were good
Girl
singers,
band.
though.
They
Yeah.
were my favorite, and
They were
I
on the
think
show, right? They put them all together.
yeah, they
Yeah.
were on X Factor.
I
They
saw
came in
that.
third. I had a Twitter account. I was obsessed with them. I
was a big
think
fan.
I had my bisexual awakening with Lauryn and the
Amazing.
singer in there. I
Mhm.
really like to go for girls with my own name. It's actually a really consistent thing in my life.
That's so funny.
But it's because I'm a narcissist. But yeah, I think Fifth Harmony has to be mine. Just because it's nostalgic. Do I think they're the best? No. Spice Girls like forever and
That's
always.
iconic.
But yeah.
I was wondering if you guys would say Spice Girls or not. I'm surprised.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pussycat
So
Dolls
iconic.
too. I also
Oh, yeah,
loved
Pussycat
that.
Dolls.
Didn't they have a TV show
They
where it was like they would make
did.
I feel like I remember watching that at my grandma's house.
Girl bands are definitely like a British thing because even growing up,
Yeah.
besides the
bands
Spice
too.
Girls,
Yeah.
yeah, but they definitely, you're right, they definitely had like the All
Mhm.
Saints group one.
Oh, I loved Elsa.
Yeah, they weren't.
Where are they?
But this is the thing is like bands don't make it across the pond all the
Yeah,
time, right? Like
yeah.
the ones that are, and there's one now that are still like, they were super popular years ago. Oh my God, is it Little Mix?
Little Mix.
Yeah, and they're still
Forgotten
super
about
popular
it.
in
Yeah.
the UK, but they're just
Yeah.
sort of not.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, they didn't really cross over here. That a lot of the bands have kind of come from the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More so.
It's
When
definitely like their thing.
I don't know why the first thing I thought of was Selena Gomez in the scene, but that was all men, and it was
Yeah.
just Selena Gomez. Yeah,
That's so
that was
funny.
what I thought of.
Spice Girls, duh.
Definitely
Like I
Spice
still
Girls.
sometimes put on Spice Girls or like
Same.
90s music.
Spice
and I
Girls
get
They're
it.
iconic.
Yeah.
Spice Girls and
exactly.
Pussycat Dolls run my gym playlist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like if you don't love wannabe, I don't want to know you.
Yeah.
I don't want to be friends.
Oh, do you know what we didn't say was Destiny's Child? That would have been another.
Oh
that
my
would have been-
God.
I don't know why I was having such a hard time.
Okay,
thinking of them.
Destiny's
Like,
Child,
wow.
Destiny's
I mean, my
Child.
choice is still Spice Girls, but Destiny's Child would be the second.
This
Destiny's
needs to be a
Child.
clip, Sarah, because that was a perfect moment for all of us.
Like,
That was
what?
embarrassing.
TLC, like we just blacked out. It's okay.
Oh yeah, we forgot about
TLC.
TLC.
Oh my God.
I know.
TLC might be my
No
favorite. Oh,
scrubs?
Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
That might be my
Oh,
favorite. I
wow.
love Salt and Pepper.
I do love
If
Selena
Nicole
Gomez.
T, our friend, was listening to this, she would kill us.
I'm kind of embarrassed, honestly,
No,
that I blanked
I
like
don't know
that. I'm gonna
why
blame
I
it on the
bla-
Sunday
I-
Scaries.
The way I was like Fifth Harmony, like that was the only one I could think of. Like
Your brain
really-
was like just polar.
Yeah, I'm
difference.
any girl band.
I will still go with Fifth Harmony because I did like
They're-
love
they're
them.
girls.
They
Yeah,
were
they're
they're my
girls.
nostalgic. Like I had the shirts, I had the whole moment, so I think I'll go with them.
I'm
Yeah.
into them.
I love that so
I
much.
love Justin. I put them on, like say my name.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so
sure.
good, so good. All right,
Oh,
this has
was
been
so
awesome.
fun.
It's so
Yeah,
nice.
it's
Thank
so
you for
fun.
having us
Thanks for
on.
having us.
I think we're gonna do some more collaborations. soon, so
Absolutely.
stay tuned for that.
Where can people find you online?
You can find us on Instagram at the Weekend Roundup or on TikTok at the Weekend Roundup, and you can listen to us anywhere you get your podcasts or on YouTube.
Check them out.
Thanks for coming on, Sarah.
Thank you.